Okay, so I'd like to welcome today Jim Connor, who is an artist who lives right outside of Nashville, Indiana, just north of Bean Blossom.
Right.
And he's been here for how many years have you lived in this area?
Since '96, so
Okay.
going on.
Did you come here as part of the art scene here?
Yeah, that was the reason I moved
Okay,
here.
that's why you moved
Yeah,
here, right?
yeah, I wanted
Jim
to
is
do-
a sculptor
Right.
and a metal worker, and actually I'll show you a picture that I took of his kind of signature piece, which is, will you tell us about that, how that came about? He did a sculpture for the town square.
Oh, in Nashville.
Yeah, in Nashville, yeah.
Right. That was a combination sculpture that was done by a lot of combat veterans. So
Oh,
it
okay.
was. I met an Iraqi War veteran,
Right.
and he came out to my studio to work, and he kind of had PTS. So we
Right,
just
right.
got it. So we started that project
Okay,
to raise awareness about veteran suicide.
okay,
And
okay,
so
oh, okay.
I headed up the art part of it, and
Uh-huh.
then they raised money, and so
Okay,
now
yeah.
it's part of the whole Mission 22,
Right.
which is a national organization.
Right,
It was
right.
started with that one sculpture.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And so you've been doing the metalworking for how long?
Oh, my whole life.
Your whole life,
Yeah,
right, right.
yeah.
You start when you were a kid?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My dad was an iron worker. I came from
Uh.
a whole family of iron workers, and I actually iron worked too. But my dad taught me to weld when I was like 9 years old.
Okay.
And my
okay.
mother was an artist. She was an oil painter and an artist, and she did some sculpture work, not much, but she was artistic.
Uh-huh.
My dad was real pragmatic, was the iron worker, so I've got both
Right,
sides of me. I'm real pragmatic. I can build anything out of steel, but I've also got that
Right.
artistic
right,
pull from my mother's side.
right. Well,
Yeah.
good, good. Some of the pieces that I've seen are just really beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's what you've been doing for your career, but now you're 65
Right.
and beginning to retire a little bit, scaling back the production of some of the sculptures,
Right.
still doing a little bit, but not a lot, and doing a lot of traveling. So clearly you're flourishing, and you plan to be doing that for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Go
Yeah,
ahead. Tell me about that.
Oh, it's just,
Yeah.
I mean, I've always liked to travel. I've always
Mm-hmm.
been a kind of a nomadic road warrior.
Yeah.
When I was 18, the day I graduated high school, I took an old backpack and hitchhiked from Chicago to Mexico.
Okay.
And went down and hitchhiked all through Mexico. And that was, of course, I was back in 74. And it was different, a little different then. But yeah, I hitchhiked all over the country for
Right.
a while. And then went to work and iron worked and but still traveled. I liked that because the iron work allowed me to travel.
So ironwork,
know.
is that beginning of your artistic career, or were you just doing?
Well, I did iron work too.
Okay.
I've always done the artwork, but I had a family. I had two kids too,
Yeah.
so I had the iron work to supplement
Right.
some of the art.
Some of the art, yeah.
Artwork. But I've been doing art full time for 25 years, something like that. Yeah.
And when I was told about Jim and that I should interview him, he's a legend
Yeah.
around
I
these
don't know.
parts. So,
I don't know.
right. So you've been here for a long time doing that.
Yeah.
So-
I've been pretty active in the
And
community.
you said you. So tell me about that. What else have you done in the community?
As far as art.
No, anything.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I used to work with, I volunteered and helped with the Historical Society. I've done work there. We used to do weekend, have a blacksmith shop there, so we do weekend things
I think I
there.
saw that. Right,
Yeah,
over
and we
there with
make
the
apple
History
cider.
Center.
And then, I mean, I helped found some art, co-op art galleries that we worked on, and got artists to where they couldn't afford rent space, was to get all the artists together and share a space to show their
Right,
art.
so for just a little bit of history, Nashville has been an artist colony that was founded, I believe, in 1908.
Yeah.
So there have been there have been artists that have been coming here, kind of flocking to this area since then, during the Depression and then after the war.
Right.
And So how has it changed since you've been here?
Well, it's become more. I mean, it's a little more commercialized,
Yeah,
and the
I would
town
guess
is the town has become. It's not as we've had a lot of influence from people from the city have moved here, and so they brought those influences
Right.
here. And when I first moved here, there were more gravel roads, and it was more laid back, and now there's more county restrictions, and
Right.
years ago you could have an outhouse, and now you can't do
No,
that
you can't,
anymore.
right,
And
yeah.
if you have too many cars on your property without a license plate, you're going to come. So they're tightening up on
The bureaucracy?
the bureaucracy, and I think it's people. I think they want to turn. There's people that move here and they want to turn the place into Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
They want nothing more. They just want expansion.
Right.
So, which I don't think is a good thing.
That you don't see. So what are your plans for continuing to flourish as you get older?
Well,
More
one,
travel, I think.
I travel, and then the other is to try to stay as healthy as possible.
Okay.
Because if
What
you're
do you,
not,
how do you do that?
well, I try to eat really good, all organic, green food.
Good.
Try to manage my health, not through a doctor, but to do the things you need to do to lower. I had high blood pressure. I did that all by diet. I
Right.
had high cholesterol. I did that all by diet. So it's exercise and eat.
What do you
and
mostly do for exercise? A lot of
hike.
walking?
I do a lot of hiking and walking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
outdoors and kayaking and
Yeah, I love
and,
kayaking.
and working. I
Yeah.
mean, I still do physical work. So,
Right.
which I'll probably never stop.
Right, right. I think that's important,
Right.
so we
Yeah.
have to keep
So the
moving.
healthy. I mean, the flourish. I mean, you have to stay healthy.
As
because
a
if you-
foundation.
as a
If you want to
foundation.
keep flourishing, you've got to be able to keep
Right,
moving.
right,
so,
exactly.
right.
I mean, I think to flourish, you have to keep, you have to keep moving, and I don't think you should. I think you should. I have more. I have more friends that are young than I do old. And it's like I try to like old people. I think get stuck in their generation, and I
Yeah.
think that's that's behind. I mean,
So you like to
yeah, I
hang
like
out with people that are younger.
right, and they're
yeah.
experimenting in new artists and
Right, yes.
music and
Yeah.
and dancing. I mean, my friend Reverend Peyton, who's probably the best blues slide guitar player in the world.
Really?
He tours all over the world, and he's one of my best friends, and we fish together and talk about music, and sometimes I drive his tour bus for him. I mean, it's like when you're around people that are full of energy,
That's
you
right.
can't help but feel that energy.
So part of flourishing for you is hanging out with people that
Right.
are also flourishing.
Right, exactly.
And just kind of
exactly.
sharing energy
Right,
with them.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And then not sitting on the couch and worrying about my stock portfolio or what golf club I'm going to retire to.
Right,
It's
right.
like stay
Just
active
gonna-
and
just gonna
stay
keep-
moving. Monetary things never meant anything
Right,
to me anyway.
right,
I mean, one of the happiest times I was ever in my life was when I was hitchhiking and and I had a backpack, and that's all I had to worry about all day long was I only had two worries: find something to eat, find a place to sleep.
Okay.
And that was it.
That's it. It's pretty basic.
Pretty basic.
Yeah.
And I always figured no matter how bad things got, I could always go back to that if
Well-
I have to.
Well, I think probably you've got a pretty nice place here. We're
Oh, yeah.
in his living room right now, so if you can see the background, and we're in the same building that his studio's in. So he's got his studio in here, and then he's got a garden outside, and the van that they travel in, which is an old electrician's van
Right.
that he rebuilt and
Right.
made into a kind of hotel on wheels.
At the hotel on wheels.
Yeah, it
We
is.
travel a lot, and it saves, and that allows you to flourish because, when we can stay in the van and don't have to have a. I mean, you can.
Do you tend to stay in campgrounds, or do you just?
No, campgrounds can be expensive and they're
They
more
can.
crowded.
Yeah, I'm
and,
finding that out. So.
and so a lot of times, if we have a destination where we're going to go, it's usually like a national park or
Right.
someplace, or there's a lot of federal. If you go out west, you can camp on
Right, BLM lands.
land,
Right.
and there are a lot of places. And now that I have not tried the hip camp thing. I've looked at
Mm-hmm.
it. I've seen where that's opening up some avenues. But if we're traveling on the road, and we. Once in a while we'll stop at a county park or something, but most of the time on the road we'll just sleep in a rest area on the way, or a truck stop, or a Walmarts are great,
I've heard Cracker Barrel.
and
is
Cracker
open-
Barrels are
they're
another
open
one.
too,
They don't
so,
bother
yeah,
you,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you get used to,
I've
the
done
place.
that once. I've stayed at a truck stop once, and I'm probably going to do it again next week.
Yeah,
So
truck stops I feel fair. You feel, with the van, I feel safe anyway.
Right, 'cause you're- okay.
Nobody can. There's not windows in it and whatever. So, but yeah.
So any particular destinations that you're looking forward to seeing, or you said you've seen the whole United States, Canada, Mexico.
I'm wanting to go. I lived in the West for a while.
Right.
I lived in Idaho, and I've been around the Grand Teton National Park, and
Right.
I've worked out there in those areas. But I haven't. And I've been to the Northeast, but I have not spent a lot of time. So I think
Northeast.
to go up towards Maine and spend some time in New Hampshire and up in that area.
You have any desire to do the Appalachian Trail?
I started to about
Did you?
7 or 8 years ago,
Yeah.
but I had some problems with my knees, and
Yeah.
I just didn't think that they would stand up to
To that.
the abuse, But I have a friend that she hiked it 3 years ago.
Oh, she did.
And
Wow.
she was wanting me to go. She's like, "You should come on the trail," but I don't know, my knees. I'm gonna make them last.
Right.
So-
Yeah, that's my feeling too. So, any obstacles or any things you've had to overcome in continuing to flourish?
Well, I had a divorce late in life. I was married 33 years, so I had overcome.
And you had
that.
kids, right?
Yeah, kids and that. But mostly, I felt very blessed. A lot of it's all attitude. It's like
It is completely
It's
right.
completely added. 99% of
Yeah.
what you do is your attitude. So, and I'm the kind of person I can be happy no matter where
Right.
I am.
Right.
So if that's where I am, that's where I am.
Right.
And sometime I won't be there. So if I don't like it, all I have to do is wait a little while.
So you can find a
Right.
way
And there's
out.
messages in those places you don't,
Okay.
like you can. It's always like some self-analyzing, self-check once in a while. This pandemic year has been
How
hard.
has it been for you?
Actually, it was probably, I hate to say this, but one of the better winters I had, because I didn't really have to make an excuse not to go out and see people.
Right,
Which,
right.
because I have a tendency to just kind of be like, I can stay home a lot, But I also like to be out social too. But
right.
I don't know, for this winter, it was a really reflective time just to kind of go inward and kind of liked it a lot.
Any plans for other art projects or?
I've always got plans.
I'm sure.
but I don't
I'm sure
know.
something will
will
dawn on you, and you'll have to go do it. So.
I've had some big. I would like to do a couple more big projects, and I've got a couple in my mind. Whether I can find, somebody to fund it and put it together, but
So that might be something
yeah.
that you would be working on.
Yeah, and I'd like to do art that helps people, because I think I've got an idea to do some big projects that they're big public art pieces, but they will be built. They would be built by the public, and the money that's raised, like the pieces for the project, will be bought by corporations and stuff, and then the money will go to raise for for a non-for-profit for either environmental issues.
So it'd be funded by corporate donations, but it would be a public.
But it would be put together. They would be put together by people in the public.
In the community where it is. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I've got some ideas on that, which I started to work on before the pandemic came, but then that kind of slowed things down. So
Well, I hope we'll stay in touch, and I hope you'll let me know
Oh, yeah.
what you're working on and
Yeah,
what's
I'm-
coming, and we may have you back on here to talk again.
Yeah, keep in touch. I may, who knows? I mean, we'll be down through Atlanta, I'm
I
sure,
know,
before
so,
you,
yeah,
if you're there.
please.
I mean, we're always,
Yeah.
I go through it. Last year,
Well,
I
I
went to
don't
Atlanta
know.
like
I'm
4
not sure
times.
I'm going to be in Atlanta, so
Yeah.
I'm heading to Michigan tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I think, and then I'm thinking about going to Missouri. And then I've been to Hot Springs, Arkansas, which I really liked.
Yeah, Hot Springs is
So, and then kind of circle back home. I was planning to be about 6 weeks, and we're having a memorial service for my husband in July. So, so I need to be back for that. And,
yeah.
so,
That's
but thank you so much for
thank you.
granting me this
Yeah.
interview and just talking about
Yeah.
flourishing. You're obviously doing a really great job.
Oh
with
yeah,
it, so.
I feel. I mean, the other thing is to live in gratitude. It's like every day I get up and I feel like I'm just so grateful
Right.
to be able to experience what I've experienced.
Right.
Like I feel like I've lived 5 lifetimes compared to most people,
Right, right.
But yeah, just
And
don't.
it's- and that
don't
fuels you and keeps you
Yeah,
going,
just don't
keeps
let it
you
get
flourishing.
boring. So far it's not been
Okay,
boring.
I'm sure it won't be. So thank you again, Jim.
Yeah, you're welcome.